Are we recording? Yes, we're recording. So yeah, so don't Dan, we'll just take this one easy, okay?
Yes.
This is you can entitle this one the Hangover episode.
Yes. Oh man.
Boo-Foons Mystery Investigators.
Off the case.
So, tell me about your evening, unless you would rather not tell me about your evening. If it's a sore subject.
No, it's fine. The only negative bit is how humbled I've been. So I decided, because it's been payday this week,
Yeah.
to but buying a bit of beer, because as you remember, years ago, I used to have a beer fridge that was enviable by all beer fans.
Absolutely, your beer was stacked.
Yeah. And I thought to myself the other day, because I had a meeting in a pub the other evening.
Is this work related or?
Yeah, well, semi-work related. It's a group that I sort of a networking group that I'm part of that arranges events and things.
Okay.
Linked to the local university. But rather than meeting at the university, we meet at a pub. And I was like, alcohol has got very expensive, like, and I was like, no wonder I don't go out as much as I used to. I think I paid £6 for just a standard beer. And I was like, geez, that's way too much for a pint.
Right, sorry, and the owner of Wetherspoons has just been in the press today saying a £10 minimum hour wage is too much for them to pay. It's lowering the quality of life. £6 for a pint. He wants to go back to £7 an hour. So he wants one pint to pay a member of staff. That's all an hour of the member of staff is worth to him, is one pint.
Yeah, there are many reasons why I don't like Wetherspoon, and I also don't like Tim Martin very much either.
Who's that? Is that the guy?
The owner, yeah.
Oh, I mean, sure. But hang on, you take me to Wetherspoons every time I come down.
No, I don't.
I took you. That's for breakfast. That was
we went to Wetherspoon for breakfast once.
Yeah, and I ate all the breakfasts.
We both ordered a breakfast and a burger to go alongside our breakfast.
That was it.
Yeah. No, I try and avoid it as much as possible.
Yeah, don't.
As a company, but yeah. So I thought, as it's been payday, I was out the other day, and I was like, going out to the pub has now got very expensive. Maybe I should buy some drinking again. So that's what I did. I bought a load, and I sat here, and I've also bought myself a nice bottle of whiskey. And I sat here last night watching an online event that I had bought a ticket for, just drinking along, having a laugh and a joke, and a couple of friends. I was in a group chat with a couple of friends who were also taking part in this thing and watching it as well. And we've sort of got our own conversation happening and having a laugh and a joke. And at 1:00 this morning, they decided, let's have a voice chat. So they started up a group call, and we're laughing and joking, and one thing leads to another, and before I know it, it's nearly 4 a.m. and they're like, yeah, we should all probably go to bed. So went to bed, me thinking, yeah, it's probably fine, I haven't drank that much. I still feel okay. I don't feel like I'm going to fall over or anything. I'm fine. Yeah, I woke up this morning, and the first thing I did was ran to the bathroom to, speak to Huey on the big white telephone.
Yeah.
And then I then had a message from. I woke up to a couple of messages, and one of them was, "Do you remember that last conversation we had?" And I went, No, I do not remember. What do you mean conversation? And I couldn't actually remember the fact. So this morning I couldn't even remember
Wow.
that we had that. And then suddenly, and then as I started filling in the gaps, I then started going, oh yeah, we did have a voice chat until like 4 o'clock this morning. But yeah, so I've been humbled rather badly because, yeah, I definitely cannot drink as much alcohol as I used to. And I've, well, even, well, as you saw, we clicked record on this, and the first thing I did was run to,
So do you want some sweet and sour noodles? Can you smell that? It's just so strong.
I can't smell that, but then I'm not keen on Chinese sweet and sour as a flavour.
Oh, sorry, it's not. It's Slimming World sweet and sour. So it's not
Okay.
Chinese. It's just, oh, it's
Um,
not. Oh, Dan. Well, I mean, of course, the thing is, when I get drunk, it's usually on a podcast with you on a Saturday. Sorry, on a Sunday when we do it. And I usually get through a bottle of vodka, and then I listen back, so I have evidence of the things I've said and how I've said it, and
yeah.
then realize, and so everything I do is recorded. You're lucky you didn't record your conversation with them.
Yeah.
So that's why I've given up drinking again, because it's just the only time I get drunk is with you, and usually on the podcast, which means you end up, or Dave ends up having to spend twice as long editing.
And today it's my fault.
Yeah,
So I can only blame myself when I'm editing this episode together.
yeah. I didn't say. Did I tell you my uncle died? So my dad's older brother. So this in the, just over a month, we've lost my dad and his brother have died.
What?
So they they're all going. There's only one brother left. So I'm going to give him a call later on and just say good luck. There's only one of them left. So yeah, there were five. Now there is one.
Yeah, so
And I just say just chatted to my mum just when I was supposed to be talking to you, and she's struggling because my dad's ashes came home yesterday,
okay.
all by themselves.
What?
They floated in. No. Oh, okay, they were brought home. I thought that would have been that's why she couldn't sleep, because they just sort of turned up. They were just on the doorstep in the morning, on a pillow next to her. It's like it's crazy. This last month, I don't know if I told you before, has been the longest and the shortest month of my life. It's weird when you lose somebody like that, when you lose somebody so special. It seemed like it's yesterday, but so much happened in that month afterwards that it just seems like a year. So many
Yeah.
things. It's been like so busy. I think also, fall into that pit of depression again, and then getting out of it so quickly because work made me. And I mean, the other thing is I got this as well. I got, you here. We had
Yeah.
interviews to do, we had stuff, which was so good. And I think if I didn't have work saying, get into work, you're just going to lay there and get depressed. And it's like, yeah, good point. And if I didn't have to get up, not to let you down to do podcasts, because I know that I love this, I probably would have been still laying in bed thinking, what's the point of life?
Yes.
But to have these things to do, which is why I don't care if anybody listens to them or not, to be honest, because just spending this time, just being daft, just having something to look forward to, it is so good. I think everybody does. Everybody has to.
Yeah, yeah,
When I
and
lost my mum, I didn't have that.
yeah, and like you said, it is important to find and do those things that you enjoy.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, as long as it's not causing harm to others.
Or
What
you end up vomiting the entire day the next day.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, my Friday night was very enjoyable. How was yours? You normally have your movie nights on a Friday.
Didn't have movie night last night. We had bingo. It was a charity bingo to raise money for my wife's singing group. She's part of a female a cappella group in which has about 30 members, and it's been going for 50 years. Ladies Barbershop Quartets, which have got like 60 people in. Very big for a quartet. But we had
Yes.
a charity bingo, and I've never won bingo in my life. And I have a problem with bingo. The big problem I have with bingo is, well, it's games. I want to win if I play a game,
Yeah.
and I often do win. Good at quiz nights, good at murder mysteries, but good. I try to win because I don't want to lose. What's the point playing if you're just going to play? Bingo is just luck. Did you pull that card that's going? It's like lottery. So there you are. You're crossing out your numbers, thinking you're actually doing something. You're not. It's just chance.
Yeah.
But I won the second house. I've never won it before. I actually won my first ever game of bingo, and I was going to shout bingo because I've never shouted it before. And my wife Sandy just shouts it. How bingo over here? It's like I wanted to say that. I've never said that. Took away my first and only chance to say bingo. It's like I was so close to achieving something, saying bingo for the first time and meaning it.
We'll have to go to another bingo event.
Yes. Just so I can shout. And that's it. That'll be my last one when I can actually shout bingo. In your face, old people. Trouble is they look at me and think, oh, he's old as well, but look at him. Yeah.
Yes.
The only difference between me and old person
you've been waiting to play bingo that long that you've now got to the point that
bingo in your face, other old people. Most of them are retired, so they are older than me. So that's still okay. I can still call them old people.
Yes. Yes, you can.
Yeah, but it was good. It was nice. It was good to get out. But when I got back and watched a couple of films, the interesting one was one called Exit 8. Exit 8, which I just heard good things about. I heard it had a standing ovation. It was a Japanese film. It was premiered in Cannes, had a standing ovation.
Okay.
And I didn't realize it's actually based on a computer game.
Oh.
An observation computer game where you're walking around underground. I think, well, if it's anything like the film, you're just walking around trying to get out of an underground station. And every time you see an anomaly, you have to turn back. If you miss the anomaly and you carry on forward, you've got to start again. You've got to go around 8 times, spot every anomaly. But it's only just a corridor.
Oh, I've seen people playing this online on like Twitch and stuff.
Yeah. So considering the whole film pretty much was in an underground, in 2 corridors, maybe 3 corridors, repeated, going around for an hour and a half, they actually made a really good film out of it. It was actually very interesting, quite gripping. There was different characters introduced cleverly. Yeah, if you get a chance, it's very unusual, and I'm, I like every so often seeing something I didn't expect. My daughter, Louise, she told me that that's a game we used to play back in 2006, whatever it was, or 2016 or something like that. But it was a good film, so we saw that. And then after that, I saw a film with, I can't remember what it was called now, but it had David Schwimmer and Simon Pegg. It was like a crime comedy. Again, never heard of it before. It's 10 years old, 20 years old. That is 2006, and it was again really good. But it's a film I'd never heard of. I have to find out what it's called now, just to recommend it. But I do recommend it. It was great fun. Have you seen any good films recently?
Good question. No, well, I haven't really watched many films lately, mainly because I've been
drunk.
No,
doing this and
mainly
editing.
because mainly because I've been doing this and doing all the editing and everything. So I haven't really sat down to pay attention to a movie. I keep meaning to watch the Minecraft movie. That's one that I definitely need to
you're a big
sit down and watch at some point. Yeah. Like I know all the songs because I've seen social media things, so I know the lover chicken, Steve's lover chicken.
I've not seen it yet.
So I need to watch.
I'm sure that wasn't in the game though, was it?
No,
there was no songs in the game.
No. Well, there are songs in the game. The ones it's like, bing. that one's the one that always annoys. When you're just sort of walking around and then it goes silent for a little bit, and it's that song in the game where it just out of the blue does the really loud ding, and then just starts doing music, and it always happens the moment that I'm underground and run out of torches and that sort of thing, and I'm like, yeah.
Do you know what? I must play Minecraft again. I used to love Minecraft. And do you remember? Oh, no, I was going to say, do you remember when I used to work at the school that I actually built the Minecraft for the kids, and everybody had their own plot of land, so they couldn't knock down each other's houses,
Yeah.
so they could
Well,
create the. It was so much fun.
if you remember, I ended up taking that into
You did, didn't you? Yeah.
yeah, I started doing an after school club similar to that. Yeah, and then when we eventually upgraded, well, I say upgraded, we got rid of standard PCs and changed them for Chromebooks.
Yeah.
Servers don't quite work as well,
No.
so unfortunately, it's a thing that's died off. And
Yeah.
also, it's a case of these days with YouTube Kids and stuff, they learn how to play the game far better than you ever would be able to teach them. So when I used to do it, it was still a very much a big thing, but not many of them would have had access to videos and stuff to have got decent ideas of how to use redstone and what have you. So it was
the thing I
yeah.
was using it for, rather than teaching actually how to play Minecraft, because they all were playing it, they all knew how to do it. It was more of a social thing. Can they learn to play together? Cooperate, not pick on each other. If they do, if there's a dispute, can they sort it out? So it was more of it was more social than Minecraft, and I think it worked on that level. It brought these kids, it taught them how to live in a world and work together, share resources, exchange things for when they needed it. It worked very well for cooperation, and I think again it's something that's often not taught in school. I don't know if it's taught in schools anymore. Cooperating, working together, and actually, teamwork, and not freaking out, not blowing the other person's house up because it's fun. There's consequences. You end up in prison. Oh, that film called Big Nothing. Big Nothing with Simon Pegg and David Schwimmer. Watched it, right? The ending. I'm not going to tell you in case, but it's very French, and I thought this ending's very French. Then I realized, looking at it, it was actually a French writer director, which explains the ending of the film. So it doesn't feel like a big American film, and it's filmed over. Well, it was filmed in Wales and the Isle of Man, but you couldn't tell it. I hate it when films are filmed over here, and you can quite obviously see it's filmed in the UK. I saw an action movie the other day. I think it was who was it? One of the big action stars, but won't go over to America now. Oh, that's it. Jason Statham. It was a Jason Statham film. I think this last 4 films have all been filmed over here. And you can tell because the sky is grey, it's always raining. They overdo everything to make it look like it's American. There's people walking around with cowboy hats. In every pub, there's a big buffalo skull and stars and stripes and General Lee flags everywhere. It's like it's like a cartoon. If you were drawing, get a kid to draw what America looks like, it would be like a Jason Statham film. with a few scenes that are filmed in America, but the rest is all filmed over here. Quite clearly, when you're walking through an English forest, it's not America. But I saw that with the last Evil Dead film, Evil Dead Rise. As soon as that film started, and it started off with the cabin with the lake and the possession, and it was a really good scene. But I looked at it and thought, they're not American trees. That looks more like Australia and the outback. And it turned out it was. But quite clearly it wasn't America. Because landscapes in America and Britain and Canada and Australia all look very different.
With you saying about I noticing things like that, have you seen the GeoGuessr guy online?
Yes.
Where he just goes on and he's like, oh yeah, this is definitely Serbia and it's approximately going to be there, click, and he's like within 100 meters of it, and it's like, how on earth do you know? And he does it in seconds. But talking of films, I've remembered the names of the 2 films that I've watched the most recently because I have watched the Cars series again when I was building my Lego Lightning McQueen, and I did watch Back to the Future again whilst building my Lego DeLorean. But ones that are new that I've watched, well, I say new, one came out a couple of years ago, was The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry. It's a very British film. It's got Jim Broadbent in it, and Jim Broadbent is this old man, and he gets a letter, finds out that one of his ex-colleagues is dying of cancer, and she lives in Berwick-upon-Tweed, whereas he lives in Devon. and he decides that he's going to go and visit her, so she's doesn't die alone.
Oh,
And he ends up sort of going off, but he's like walking and getting a bus, and all the time he's going there, things go wrong, like the bus breaks down and all of that sort of thing. I might be confusing the bus with another film watch, but yeah, he's basically on his way to go and visit his old colleague.
okay. And the whole
Yeah.
thing is just his journey and his adventures and misadventures on the way.
Yeah, it's just his journey of just going to go and find his colleague, and and the messages are all about talking about death and things like that, and making sure you're there one last time and all of that sort of stuff. But yeah, so it's quite a nice little touching film. It was one of those easy watching films that you just go, okay, like I'm never going to watch it again, but I kind of enjoyed it. It was all right. It's not the normal sort of film that I would watch.
Yeah.
So yeah, it made a nice
Jim
difference.
Broadbent's lovely. He's so good in all the stuff he does. He's just one of those gentle, charming actors who's just always there, very reliable, always good to watch, and
Yeah.
hasn't done anything dodgy as far as I can tell.
No. And he's Paddington's dad. And then
Was he seen through an envelope? This is envelope to Peru. Airmail arrived.
I can't believe out of like a whole conversation based around what would be the worst thing to arrive in the post. I can't believe that was what went through my head. But yeah, the other film that I watched, and these are very cheery films that I've watched, is Still Life. And that's got Eddie Marsan in, who the whole film I sat there going, who are you? I recognise you. I recognise you. And it turns out it's been quite a few films. He was in V for Vendetta. He was the journalist in V for Vendetta. So I've seen him in a few things. And in the film Sherlock Holmes, the Robert Downey Jr. one, he was Inspector Lestrade in it.
Okay, yep.
So I sort of was sitting there going, I recognise him. And I think he was in The Gentleman as well, I think. So he's been in a few films, but he's not like a big enough star for me to go, that's who it is. But, he's been in quite a lot of films.
154 films, apparently.
Wow.
And TV shows. And he's got 8, which are upcoming. So, yeah, he's 8 that are in post-production. The man's busy.
Yeah, but this one I watched is called Still Life.
Yep.
And he plays this man who lives alone, and he works for a council, and he is the person who tries to find the next of kin for people who have died and essentially look as though they're basically on their own. So that's his jobs, and they also have no will or testament. So his whole thing is go try and find the people. If he can't find them, then it's a case of he's the one that plans the funeral and attends the funeral. So there's quite a few where he's there, standing there, and you see him, and it's just him and the vicar at the graveside and that sort of thing. And then he finds out that the council are closing down the department because essentially, to save money, all they're going to do from now on is anybody that's in this situation, they're just going to send off to the crematorium and done. Job done. That's it. So he decides to pick up his final case, and normally it's just a case of there's no one, but this particular thing, he goes out to go and try and find the next of kin of this one final person, which then takes him going off to go to a factory to go from because he finds a photograph of this bloke working in a factory. So he goes to the factory, the people recognize him, and he ends up going to a fish and chip shop where he finds out that he had lived with this woman, and this woman then gives him connection. So he keeps going around all these connections, and eventually he finds the bloke's estranged daughter, who hasn't had anything to do with him for several years. And he falls in love with this woman. And I will spoil the film for you because the ending was rather unexpected. So the funeral gets planned, the daughter's going to turn up, and all these other people that know this man is going to turn up. So it's going to be the one funeral that this guy has arranged where he's actually got people there. And he dies because he gets hit by a bus. So he gets hit by a bus. And then his funeral happens, and because he was a lonely man, there's no one at his funeral. And the final scene is all the ghosts of all the people who he has
Seen off.
Seen off. The ghosts are then standing around the graveside seeing him off. But I was really confused because I had missed one tiny detail that would have explained what the people at his funeral were. And the tiny detail was the fact that there were a load of photographs earlier in the film in a photo album that he collects of all of the people that he's arranged funerals of. And I hadn't realized that they were the people from the photographs earlier in the film. So there was me going, all these people have appeared at his funeral. Oh no, they've all disappeared again. What? Why are the ghosts? And yeah, but no, it was rather emotional film. So at the moment recently I've watched two very emotional films, which are very different to this type of thing I would normally watch. Yeah. And I'm never going to watch those films again.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I'm currently trying to avoid emotional films and just go for entertaining, because I think I've had enough emotion drained out of me in the last year, in this last month and a bit. And it's weird. It can get to that point where you feel like there's no more left to give as far as emotion goes, negative emotion and that sort of thing. And the weird thing is, like with me, with everything that's happened, I feel so positive at the moment. Good. And I think I feel more positive now than I felt in a long time. And I just don't know what it is. I don't know why. Hopefully it's not me just psychologically ignoring everything else and pretending, but it doesn't feel like I'm pretending. It feels like I'm genuinely in a very good place and can pretty much deal with anything.
Yeah. If you want a really ridiculous film to watch, another one I watched recently because I saw clips of it on TikTok was Interstate 60.
Okay.
It was a really stupid film. This kid gets in a car, starts driving down the road.
As the car crash dies and all the ghosts turn up.
Well, he meets a genie.
Okay.
And the genie grants him wishes. But this genie has this whole thing where before he grants you a wish, you've got to go and meet other people who have had a wish, so you know the terms and conditions and the risks. And there's like one bit where he goes into an American diner. Well, of course, an American diner. There's in America. So it's just a diner. He goes into a diner and there's a bloke there ordering all of this food, like pretty much everything that's on the menu. And these people have a bet about around him about whether he's going to be able to eat this stuff or not. And he eats it, and then the genie's like, "Yep, he wished that he could eat anything. Now his stomach is a black hole, and he has to keep eating. That's the risk." And then he meets all these other people who have had a wish, and it's gone horribly wrong. It was a very stupid film, and it was from that era of American Pie, those stupid films that came out.
Were there boobs in it?
No.
Yeah, bad time in films. Stop seeing the boobs.
Talking of
boobs,
I've put together a mini quiz for you.
No, okay.
Yeah. Well, I know that you like films, okay, and this is one that is going to be a bit of fun, and we'll see how it goes. And if it goes well, we might try and do this again at another point.
Okay. Tell me these aren't the most abstract films. These are known films. Yeah, these aren't just like the weirdest things.
These are known films. These are films that
so no Swedish art house. Yeah,
no Swedish art house, and these are films that you will know.
Okay.
But the game is, it's the wrong characters. So I'm going to tell you some characters. I'm going to give you a very bad synopsis of what these characters are doing.
Okay.
And you have to guess the film. But it's, as I said, it's the wrong characters. So for example, instead of saying Luke Skywalker finds out the bad guy is his dad, I might say the Joker, because Mark Hamill's my favorite Joker, discovers the bad guy is his dad. So essentially, you have to think who has played the Joker. Mark Hamill. What film was Mark Hamill in where he found out that his dad, where the bad guy was his dad? But it's not
okay. I think I've got it.
But I'm not going to give you just one character. I'll give you a couple and give you, hopefully a decent amount so you can actually end up, hopefully, getting there.
Okay. It's worth a try. It's worth a try.
It's worth a try. We'll see how it goes. Right. So first one is going to be relatively easy. Okay.
Yeah.
So, it should be relatively easy. Okay. Garfield, Russell Ziske, and Elwood are all scientists.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking Chris Pratt, but as soon as you said, the others, then, that was Bill Murray's classic.
Yeah.
Garfield. Yeah.
Bill Murray, Garfield. Russell Ziske was from Stripes, and that was Harold Ramis. And obviously Elwood, Blues Brothers, Dan Aykroyd.
Love that film. I had that film every format, even when you couldn't get it. I had it on Betamax, VHS, DVD, UHD. I think it was even on Blu-ray, 4K. I've had it on every format, that film. I love that. Yeah. And the same with Ghostbusters. I had that on every format as well.
Yeah, I love both of those films, Blues Brothers and Ghostbusters. Amazing films. Right. Absolutely. Okay. Little bit of so we'll make it a little bit trickier now with character wise. Okay. So Randolph Dupree becomes friends with Larry and is taught by Butch Cassidy. So Randolph Dupree becomes friends with Larry and is then taught by Butch Cassidy.
Okay. Randolph Dupree. This is a tricky one. Okay, you're going to give me a clue now. Which era is this?
Okay. So I will tell you that Randolph Dupree is a title character in the film You, Me, and Dupree.
Okay, one I haven't seen.
Okay, you haven't seen that one. Okay.
I haven't seen that.
Right, in that case, so I'll tell you the year that this film that you're looking for came out. It came out in 2006.
Okay.
So if you don't know You, Me, and Dupree, I can change the character.
Yeah, is there a different character?
Drillbit Taylor. Again, titular character.
Which, again, something else I haven't seen.
Okay. So this actor has also been... have you seen Night at the Museum?
Yes.
Right, he's Jedediah in Night in the Museum. The cowboy.
Oh, okay. Right. So right, tell me the synopsis again.
Right, okay. So Jedediah becomes friends with Larry and is then taught by Butch Cassidy.
Larry again doesn't. So Larry is just another character, yeah? Just called Larry.
And in pretty much apart from this film, he's been Larry in every other film and TV show he's been in, apart from one film where he played somebody called Buddy, and another film where he played a character just simply called Officer. I will also let you know that is also the first name of the actor.
Which one? Officer?
No, Larry is his actual name as well. And yeah, so apart from this film that you're trying to guess, he's been called Larry in everything, and it is his actual name. This film that he was in is pretty much the only sort of big film that he's done, because he's not necessarily an actor. He's famous, but he's not an actor.
Somebody called Larry who's not an actor. Okay, so we got Owen Wilson.
Yep.
Got Paul Newman. You're talking a different Butch Cassidy.
Yep, Paul Newman, which is Butch Cassidy.
Okay, so we got Larry, who is just Larry. Larry the Cable Guy.
It is Larry the Cable Guy.
Have they been in a film together?
Yeah, Owen Wilson becomes friends with Larry the Cable Guy, and then Paul Newman teaches Owen Wilson.
No, you got me. I don't know. I can't think of a film Paul Newman and Owen Wilson are in together. I can't think of it. You're gonna have to tell me.
So I'll give you one more clue.
Okay,
it is an animation, and it's Disney.
Oh, it's Cars.
It is Cars.
Cars. There's me thinking live action. Yes, that's
it's Cars. Owen Wilson being Lightning McQueen, Larry the Cable Guy being Mater, and Paul Newman was Doc Hudson.
That's it. Yeah, I don't know why. I just thinking of live action. I was just trying to visualize them in a live action film. I didn't even think of an animation, which would have been, considering the actor people you're talking about. Yeah, it makes sense, because there's definitely Paul Newman wasn't in a film with Owen Wilson together. That would have been a classic.
Yeah, it would have been.
Okay, well, it is a classic, isn't it? I mean, Cars is a great film.
I love Cars. Right, I have got one more prepared for you if you want to give it a go.
I like this.
And
it gets my brain working this time of the morning.
This one is a live action film.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so, but the characters that I'm going to give you are both animated characters, but the film that you're guessing is a live action film.
Action. Okay.
So Stuart Little meets Rasputin and goes on an adventure.
Back to the Future?
Yeah. Yeah. It's so hard finding a Christopher Lee film where it's
Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd. Yeah. It's so hard finding a film that Christopher Lloyd hasn't been.
It was Anastasia, wasn't it? He did the voice.
It was Anastasia, yeah.
Yeah.
Because looking through his filmography, it's like, yeah, well, everybody knows that's Christopher Lloyd. Everyone knows that's Christopher Lloyd. Oh, great, that's Christopher Lloyd. Yeah.
I don't know how good this is going to come over on the podcast, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't know. Give it a try.
Yeah.
And I could do one with you. I could describe a beer and see if you can tell which one it is. But I just changed the ingredients for something else, hot dog related or something.
There's got to be a hot dog beer out there.
There's everything beer out there.
I know I once wrote an article about beer with weird ingredients, and this was before craft beer became a thing. Because now craft beer is a thing. It's like you just go, oh yeah, fair enough. That's an ingredient now. But this was before craft beer happened, and I remember researching. There's an American brewery that does a pizza beer, where when they actually brew the beer, they do make a raw. So they actually chuck in raw pizza dough. They do chuck in tomatoes and basil and mozzarella, just into the fermentation tank.
Really? So you literally get the flavour from the real ingredients thrown in there, slowly rotting away in the tank.
Yeah. So
I'm
I
sure
don't know
they
how that
must
tastes.
scoop it out before it. They must scoop it out before it goes off.
They would filter it out, yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember there was another one that was an adult film star. She had it was her yeast.
Oh.
And that was somewhere in Europe. I think that was in Czech. I think that was in the Czech Republic. I think.
That was a joke I made the other day at work, which went down quite well. Is that one of my colleagues went away to Hamburg or something for a break? I don't know if I told you. And there's a spa there, which is a beer spa. So you basically
cool.
You lay down and you soak in a vat of beer.
Yes.
And I said the only thing I'd worry about is getting a yeast infection. And yeah, that was about as funny as that. That's about as good as it got. I couldn't think of anything amusing to say apart from, I bet that goes straight to tap somewhere. Somebody is bottling that and making money.
Yeah, maybe.
What's the vintage? How old is the person who just sat in it for 3 hours?
There was a woman that went viral on TikTok because she had been using her yeast to make baked goods. She was
using your sperm to glue envelopes together. So between the two of you,
and she went viral because she was like, oh yeah, this is what I cook and this is how I do it and this is what I use to make it, and my husband loves it. And then she did a follow-up video a couple of weeks later where she did have a really bad oral yeast infection.
Do you know what? Like say Darwinism has been reversed. It absolutely has been reversed. And we were told this would happen by having good diet, good healthcare. The dumb people are reproducing. And the world is full of dumb people now because they can survive where they used to die off. Because that is just dumb. You see it all the time.
What's that film? There is
Idiocracy.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it. We just look at what what is it? Gwyneth Paltrow. Yeah, obviously great example of that.
Yeah.
Just everybody. That's everywhere you look. It's just stupid people. And now, right, even worse. Before they used to starve. If you were stupid, you'd starve. But now you're making a killing on TikTok and Instagram. You're making your money there by being stupid and encouraging other people to be stupid.
Yeah.
I honestly think that the world is on a tipping point. And I think if we get any more stupid and the intelligence goes any more, we are just going to go down and there will be no recovery. And before we know it, the rats and the cockroaches will be the dominant form of life. Well, I mean, real rats and cockroaches, not just human ones who seem to be the dominant. Dan, people are just dumb now. Why are people so dumb?
Well, it's things
I
like
just said it, they're just dumb.
It's when you see like on a packet of nuts the disclaimer that says warning, this contains nuts. And I actually I actually remember having this rant with somebody before. Like, how can somebody be that stupid that they've got a nut allergy and they decide I'm going to eat a packet of nuts? And it turns out it's actually put on there not for human stupidity. It's put on there for legal reasons.
Because people are stupid.
Yeah. And it's like the when you go and get a coffee from somewhere like
Yep.
Costa or somewhere like that, on the cup it will say warning, contents will be hot, and it's on there purely because if the lid were to come off or somebody spills it and burns themselves, they then can't go to court and say, well, you didn't tell me that I would be burned by pouring this hot liquid on me. And if somebody were to go to court to try and do that, then Costa can go, well, if you'd looked at our cup, it's got a warning on that tells you that contents will be hot.
Do you know, the other day, one of my colleagues came back from just across the road where there's a Costa, and their coffee was so hot, it melted the lid before he got back. And then the actual plastic cup he was carrying had actually deformed because of it, and it went all over his hands and burnt his hands. But he hadn't even got as far as, it was just that hot, it actually melted it. But apparently the woman who started all that coffee trend up, I saw this the other day, her coffee was 180 degrees, and it melted again. It melted the pot, and it caused third-degree burns. And it only took like seconds, and it was a major injury. But it wasn't because it was hot, but because it was extraordinarily hot, and it was so hot it actually melted the cup, and it went all over us. So it wasn't stupid, and she was 79 years old as well. So I think it, go to have a look here. What's her name? Right. So
well,
Stella Liebeck.
You said 180.
Third-degree
I'm
burns.
guessing that's American.
Yeah. Permanent damage reaching the muscle fat layer of over 16% of her body, including her inner thigh and her groin. She required skin grafts, multiple skin grafts, hospitalized for 8 days. McDonald's admitted their coffee was not fit for consumption at that temperature.
Yeah, that's
for
normal people that don't talk American, it's 82 degrees Celsius. Yeah.
Hot enough to melt your body, basically.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the warning shouldn't actually be for the, I mean, yes, there should be a warning for the customer, but the warning for the company should be, don't do this.
Yeah.
And rather than taking away the chance to sue them by saying coffee is hot, they shouldn't be given coffee that could melt your skin.
Mm.
And it is their fault. And the fact they're still doing it, but just sticking a label on it so that avoids them of any responsibility is crazy.
Yeah.
My friend, my colleague, his hand was really badly burnt that day. And this is just going back last year. It's so I mean that I can excuse, but
yeah, so apparently those warnings
but may contain
are
nuts
on there.
Now, that's stupid.
Yeah, but again, that is on there for the legal sort of thing. So if somebody with a nut allergy sort of does eat it, they can't then go, well, how did I know? How was I supposed to know that this packet of peanuts contained peanuts? And they can go, well, it quite clearly says, warning, this may contain nuts in the allergy section. So if you didn't read that and heed the warning, then no, that's your fault.
Yeah.
These Saturday shows are a bit random and all over the place, aren't they?
Yeah, a bit up and down, aren't they? A bit up and down.
Yeah. Like, I've just realised yet again, we've done one of these Saturdays and not even said hello to people listening. We've just sat down and had a chat.
Right. Okay. Well,
yeah.
Well, the good thing is I'm sure you can find a pause where you can throw in the theme tune. And we'll have to introduce ourselves now. I'm Steve.
And I'm Dan. And this is Boo-Foons Off the Case.
Yeah, and I hope that there's been something here that you've enjoyed. That we get too down about stuff, or talking about vomit and beer and off food. What else have we spoken about today? Films,
movies,
bit of film stuff,
movies, of stuff about films.
But this is just. I mean, again, another reason we're doing this isn't it? Because we were recording so much.
Yeah.
Let's just stick it on there rather than just wasting. How do we find so much to talk about?
I don't know. We just always do though. That's something you and I have always done. Like there's never really a quiet moment when we're chatting, when we're together. We just end up chatting and finding things to talk about.
Got to think of something special for the next episode. Let's have a theme for the next Saturday show.
Yeah, but knowing us, we will say we'll have a theme. We will stick to the theme for about 5-10 minutes and then go off onto something random.
Well, it's Saturday show. Random is a word. Right.
Yeah,
I'm going to ask for. I'm going to look for a random theme generator, and we're going to see if we can stick with that.
Yeah. So come back next week to see what the random theme is that we're going to do next week.
And I absolutely hope that we've managed to put in some highlights from previous episodes or previous chats along this chat somewhere. Can we stick stuff in? You must be able to. We must be able to put some funny stuff in here.
Yeah. Well, you know, we'll see. We'll see what we can find and at what moment it's going to be applicable to chuck stuff in.
Yeah. I know when. It's every time you go for a vomit.
Yes. Oh dear.
But it's funny, isn't it? Because the other week we started one with and this one we started with vomit. Yeah. So come back next week for the poo episode.
And that is that the theme we're going with for next week?
No, maybe. It's good because we could have gone with the ejaculating into envelopes theme.
Yeah,
that sounds a good one. Where was the worst place? Where's the worst place you've ejaculated? And what was her name?
Oh no. Yeah.
You're thinking you've got plenty of names, but you just can't say them.
Oh dear.
So also, if anybody wins any merch or gets sent merch from Dan, you don't know if there's some extra love in there. So Daniel, if you listen to this one, that's why the envelope was open when you came. When he came.
No, I have never done such a thing, and I don't know because it's not even the worst thing that you could receive through the post.
Yeah, ricin, for example.
That
could be quite bad.
A severed head.
Yeah. Wouldn't fit an envelope though, would it? Oh, it wasn't through an envelope, was it? It was just through the post.
Just through the post.
Yeah.
And as to why that was the thing that I came up with, who knows? Who knows?
Maybe you've got some pretty rancid semen there. Your mum is going to love this episode.
Yeah.
If we keep that in there, if that's kept in.
Well, I like how her feedback to the Tom Hickathrift episode was, you didn't mention one church, and then saying, tell Steve that he's a cheeky bugger for calling me, your nan. It's like, that was her feedback of the podcast. You forgot to mention one thing in a story. Also, I'm not your nan, I'm your mum. So, yeah.
I'm so sorry, Mum.
As always, do go and check us out on our social media pages. You can search for Boo-Foons pretty much everywhere across Facebook, X, Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok, and see all of our updates across all the socials. Also, do check out our website that Steve brilliantly crafts every single article that goes on there.
I wouldn't say brilliantly, but thank you.
Yeah, well, you do. You know, you're the expert behind the website.
I don't think we need to tell anybody that, just in case it is really bad. This is what happens, isn't it? Every time we're just about to do it again, we need to stop this one and start because we get distracted. I'll start talking.
Yeah, but I think that's good, isn't it?
Let's do one with just the socials, just that without.
Okay.
Do the reading.
We'll keep the recording rolling, and then we can pick the best bits.
Yeah, but don't bring me into this, okay? Because it will never end.
As always, do go and check out our social media pages. We are pretty much everywhere: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, whatever. Just search for Boo-Foons on pretty much every social media platform and you can find our updates there.
And you can visit our website at boofoons.co.uk, where you can find all our episodes, further information on the episodes, guest stars, details of the people who've appeared on our shows.
And for bonus additional content, you can subscribe to our Patreon. So do go over there and do please consider subscribing. It does help the podcast out and you get to have loads of bonus content, such as seeing us on video. Thank you. And we'll be back next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Boo-Foons, mystery investigators.
Off the